from a long way to the beginning, released in 2014 album, we have the song Higher Consciousness. Now, I need to introduce this great man this way. On the 11th of January 1983, that's 41 years ago, a great man was born. He came to the earth, of course, from a legendary bloodline, a bloodline well known for fighting for the freedom of Nigerians, the mental freedom. As a great man once said, free yourself from mental slavery. We talk about the genealogy of this man, from a father who knew how to push the agenda of the nation forward with his music, moved over to the son, more so to the youngest son, pushed forward with this music also. We're talking about the one and the only. I think even saying the name, I think is a bit, when I say that, you have one kind of halo on top. Seun Kuti, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, bro. Thanks for having me. I think I've never been on this show.
Oh, I don't think you've ever.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's an honor to have you in the studio this afternoon.
Thank you. In the midst of Instagramming and promoting and running around the whole of Lagos, no sleep since yesterday.
First of all, I don't know how you do it. I mean, I have been following your recent posts. I did follow. I mean, the blogs make it necessary for us to know that, oh, he's not. And even when I check, I'm like, okay, Seun Kuti is not saying something about this. This matter if you know makes sense. The matter if you know makes sense. But one more time, you're welcome.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. Lagos, and to everybody listening from all over the world, we have Seun Kuti in the studio. Now, the song you're listening to is Higher Consciousness.
One of my favorite compositions.
There's a reason I play that song. First of all, before we talk about the long instrumental that played there, that made me understand that first, the blood is not lost. I think that's the first thing for me. But let's talk about you. While we know why we're here, of course, you have something beautiful out. Let's talk about you for a second. Nigerians know you. The world knows you. You're from a very fantastic bloodline. We know that already. That name has been made, but you're making a wave for yourself. Now, let's talk about your beginning. I want to start from the idea of the weight upon your shoulders. I think that's the first place I want to start from. How did you have to begin with that way and forge your way into the industry?
Well, I think, first of all, I always tell people one thing, like, it's always more complicated for people outside looking in. You know.
Why so?
Than for people inside, you know. Because, you know, people have their own idea of what is and what is not.
Yes.
That might not necessarily relate to what is going on.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So being my father's son for me has always been the strongest part of my identity. But not because he's Fela,
yeah,
you know, that everybody knows. But also knowing that Fela, you know, people always like, even when they criticize us, like, oh, you're Fela's child. But
yeah,
Fela too had to be Fumilayo's son.
Okay, you know? Now that's an angle. That's a very good angle.
Yeah,
yes.
You know, things like that don't happen in a vacuum. You understand? So
yeah,
I've always cherished the fact that the ancestors, for whatever reason, that they know, you know, in their immense wisdom,
yeah,
saw it necessary that from that lineage, and everybody's here, you know, for a reason, and to play their
role,
play their part,
yeah,
you know, in humanity's story.
Yeah.
So I've been, for me, understanding of that. So the real understanding of that is what most people don't understand. You understand?
Yeah.
That sounds like tautology. The real understanding of that is what people don't understand.
Yeah.
Because, you know, yes, my father's name, you know, definitely opened doors for me.
Yes.
So I say to everybody, like me, I'd rather be an artist, just trying to be an artist, if people didn't know I was a Kuti, but that's impossible, you know.
I think that's very impossible.
So they know, because me, I've even been in my father's band since I was 8, so everybody knows me, you know. But, you know, as soon as the door is open, the standard is, you know, they set it so high, you know, because they know where you're coming from, they know your background, your dad was there. So they set a really high standard.
Was that a good thing for you coming up?
It was a good thing because I knew that, you know, I didn't have the opportunity to make rookie mistakes like people can make, and they'll be like, oh, okay, it's his first time. There was no such thing as the first time for me, even if it was my first time.
Yes.
You understand? So you have to, when you have that lineage, you have to come ready-made. Everybody believes that you know what you're doing, completely ready. No, but you don't need anybody's help, advice. Just deliver. You know, so that is that is the downside of that as well. You know, that there's an expectation, automatic expectation, whatever you do, and people think that is enough trade-off. You know, oh yeah, Fela's son though, yeah, the expectation. Listen,
because I seem to wonder. It's more like, so you have a child who is I'm a pastor's child. Now,
so was my father.
So that's the thing. So a pastor's child, and I'm talking about this immediate need for, you know, they want to classify you as, you are a legend son. This is your father. You have to live out or sort of follow in his path. But while you're talking about, brings me to this question: did you ever have a different path from what he was doing?
Well, a lot of paths were open to me as a child growing up, as a young adult as well.
Which was your first choice?
Interestingly, I was talking about it today in the car, but I didn't finish the story. I wanted to be growing up, I wanted to be an economist first.
I don't think I see it far from you.
A footballer second. Music was my third choice.
We have economist, a footballer, and
yes,
music.
Because I was better at those two things growing up than I was at music, you know. So I wanted to be the best that I could really be.
Were you the one handling the money in the band or something? Why that choice?
No. It was just it was a subject that I really, I don't know. The subjects something that I related to quite.
Yeah.
Well, not only like classroom economics. I mean, so when I started to draw to higher life, into the social sciences and how it affects human relationships.
Yeah.
You know, no social science, I believe, you know, describes our relationship as deeply, you know, that really pierces certain hidden, you know, aspects of our human existence.
That's true.
Like there's a book that I'm still a fan of economists and economy, economists and economics.
Yeah.
You know, there's a guy called Stephen Dobner, and he wrote a book called Freakonomics, the hidden side of everything, using economics to explain just mundane things that. And I want to use it as an example of why I love it.
No problem. Yeah.
And in the book, he says, you know, like everybody, there's a law against drink driving. You know, he was using the book, you know, for economics. He was using it to explain how the world doesn't make sense logically from an economic point of view with the laws we make and the reality of the economic statistics.
Oh, wow.
So, for example, like drinking and driving is a crime.
Yeah.
But drinking and walking
it's not
a crime.
That's a very philosophical side to see.
But more people die statistically from drink walking than drink driving.
Huh. Okay. I'm not sure. Okay.
Exactly. You know, so why is drink walking legal and drink driving illegal? You know,
despite the fact
these
that
are the questions that economics
higher.
Can answer to a certain extent. So that's why I love that aspect.
So are we going to say that has influenced your music in the larger part than anything else in the world?
What has influenced my music, the larger part, is the African story. You know, many people say, is what your father did. Yeah, but my father was also standing on the shoulder, as I said, of his mother, who was also standing on the shoulders of the Nkrumahs, you know, and the W.E. Du Bois and those who, you know, so this is not Fela's fight of my family's struggle. It's Africa's story. It's Africa's struggle. It's not only happening in Nigeria. There are many people all over the continent that are continuing and trying to bring this great vision, you know, of a socialist Pan-Africanist continent that puts its people first. You know, even though so many powerful forces try to make the dream seem unattainable, make Africans see themselves as valuable only when they consume European things, you know.
You're shaking tables, or?
No, but it's true. That's what our elite, political and business, want us to see as value. You know, I mean, who is the most successful man in Africa? Is he the most successful man in Africa because he has built something incredible for African people, or he has impacted the life of African people no, just because he can afford the most European
things.
You know,
wow,
that's all.
That's a very deep truth. Now I'm gonna go over to 2011
economics.
with this song. I'm gonna go over to 2011 with this song, African Soldier. We're talking about being an African soldier right now, fighting for the truth of Africa. This one is from the album From Africa with Fury. This is by Seun Kuti, African Soldier. We'll be back. From the album 2011, From Africa with Fury, From Africa with Anger, telling the world, say, listen, I know you all have looked at us some kind of way, but we're here to stay. We have the legendary Seun Kuti in the building.
You're taking me too way back. You're making me feel old.
We have to know now. That's not. That's now
not the case. I released my second album in 2011. Now I can't be telling people I'm 27 anymore.
Yeah, but that's the problem. When I asked
2011, when you did Coachella, right?
That's 2012.
That's 2012. So you did Coachella 2012.
Yeah,
after that album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, I asked him a question.
I just wanted to be sure.
I asked him a question, and I said, you're coming from this long line, and it's a thing of pride, right? So so you are a legend in your rights.
Well, I feel personally sure that the word legend is thrown about too.
What about myth, though? If you say that about
everybody,
if you say that about legend, what about myth?
Before you go home today, you meet like 6 legends.
Lagos and the world at large, we're back here. It's a lunchtime show. We have Seun Kuti in the building. Of course, you heard the voice of the Dominate himself, 𝐿𝐈𝐍𝐻𝐈 Dominate. And we're here asking him a very, very vital question. His history, he's come up everything. You know him as the child prodigy, right? You know him as that, but we know him as the man that was talking about everything and anything today. Now, we know why you're here, but we're still on that rise to where we are today. We see did here, we did go. Now,
Johnny, talk about that because you know, so those conversations are not conversations that you get to have all the time.
Yeah,
it's true.
I mean, let's take a look at it, right?
I know I've had it very few times in Nigeria, but it's fine.
So let's brag, let's make noise, let's talk about it.
About where we are going now. We're on the right path. On the right path. So now, you being here, we know you as an activist. You are not just a musician. You're so many things. And now
I don't like the word activist. I like to use the word revolutionary. I'm a revolutionary. I'm not an activist.
Why though? Is it that the word activist is a temporary thing, or is there another meaning?
It can mean anything.
Okay, so there should
activists, generally, work within the status quo. Revolutionary is about upending the status quo.
Okay, now that's a very good point. That's a very good point. Now you have, in a way, in your own way, rather to say, carried all of the message that has been, passed from time beyond, from your father now to you, to this point where you are. You coming out as Seun Kuti. What was the first thing on your mind when the song took off? When the very, very first album took off?
Many things.
Share that.
Let's talk about that. What message was it?
Okay, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that the album, because I was signed to a Warner Brothers affiliate called Total in France.
Okay.
So my first record, I was like 24. I was just happy to have a record deal.
At the time.
There was a tour. I was really happy. I wasn't thinking about the album being successful or anything. That was like the least thing on my mind. But then I was going to play a show at the French Cultural Center in Cotonou, and there was a press conference. I was like,
press conference.
Press conference.
Yeah. You're on the radio.
Not on the radio, like a proper press conference. Like when there was a hall full of press people asking me, and they're like, "Oh, so how do you feel that your album is nominated for the Victoire de la Musique 2008?" I'm like,
you didn't even know.
Listen. You don't know how many things about myself I found out.
You found out later.
Online.
You picked along the way.
In fact, I didn't even know what it was. Funny enough, but like the Americans have the Grammys. That's the French version. It's called the Victoire de la Musique. So that was like the first sign like we were doing kind of
something special.
So for me, and also I've been playing music since I was 8. I've been in the band, and I've always felt like, even though I'm the frontman of Egypt 80 now, but Egypt 80 is still Egypt 80. Egypt 80 is like 54 albums.
Strong.
Then how many? 49 albums before I released my first album.
Whoa.
So the band already was such a huge institution.
Yeah.
Like my album, I didn't think like my album is adding anything to the band. What was I going to add to the band? Like the band is Egypt 80, But I didn't understand that in Africa, also, we don't truly understand our institutions.
Yes.
How to preserve our institutions, how to, really utilize our institutions for our benefits completely, We tend to lack in some of those areas.
Yes.
So, I thought it was going to be easy, man. 𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐶 band, the most recorded band in the world, and it's an African band, and I'm like in front of this institution, man. I don't have to do anything again in my life.
I think I finished work.
But nah, it was almost like after my father passed, like the band had to like start again all over, like proving itself. Like I'm like, why do we have to do that?
Yeah.
It's 49 albums. Is that not enough?
What do you still have to prove?
But as I said, expectations were high.
Yeah.
So for me it was just about, okay, fine. If this is how the world wants to do, then
do the same.
Let's play that game. Let's show them that we're still the band that we say we are. So
picking up from there, let's have that conversation, because I know that some people listening to you now will probably be thinking about it, and they'll be asking themselves the question: do you know the 𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐶 band, the Fela, and then the Seun? Two different, eras, great eras. Looking at the pressure at the time, even getting nominated, even at the Grammys, the American Grammys. We've talked about the Francophone now, and let's talk about the English. You were nominated at the Grammys. Do you sort of feel like, at some point, like I've done everything? There's nothing else to prove.
Well, I know there's so much to prove. You know why?
Why?
Okay.
Tell me.
Because I say this every time.
I know.
Because even the year we got our Grammy nomination,
yes,
no single award, ceremony in Africa give us a nomination on any category. Out of all the
very true
thousands of categories,
thousands of nominations
that they give every year in Africa.
Now, what does that say about our own institution here?
Hence my discussion about our understanding of our institutions. So for me that was like, okay, is this willful neglect? Are people like just like, then there was a period of, okay, fuck all this, so I'll just do, pardon my French, this is my friend Fokwa from south of France. I try to use his name as a term of you understand what I'm saying?
Oh yes, we do.
So I'm like, I'm just going to, and this is what really happened. I'm just going to like actually speak my mind to these people.
Yes.
Okay, I'm done being nice to anybody. If we're all going to be uncivilized here, then let's all just behave that way. If nobody's going to see anybody, then nobody see anybody. So my friends are like, man, you can't do that. So I really started with the media. If you look back, like,
yes,
7, 8 years ago,
that was the first.
It was like slow. Then after the Grammy thing 5 years ago, I was like, okay, you know what? Is gloves off. Let's go.
Let's dive right into it.
So I was really, like, so my friends were like, man, the media, they're going to hate you. The radio, you can't be doing this to radio. People are like, what are they going to do? Not play my music? Man,
let's go.
I'm telling these people what I want to tell them. What are they going to do? Not give me shows? What is the one they can do that I don't do it? And I'm still alive. I can't use the explicitive at the end of that statement. But I'm sure if you listen clearly, you can guess what I said. I'm still alive. So yeah, that was like the the feeling there. But then after I got kind of like past it, like, you know what, man, I think people are doing what they do to stay relevant, to be what they want to be. You are successful as the ancestors will have it. So be grateful, even if they don't want to see you. But at the same time, I'm like, does that mean we are being defeated? We are giving up? I'm like, nah. Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's go again. And this time, let's make sure our people hear it. Make sure ourselves, if people are not going to like, give us that support just from their heart, like, okay, this is a great institution that represents us.
Yeah.
Then let's go and make them give it to us.
Yeah. All right, so we talk about that. So we have to go over still to the album From Africa with Fury. This one is Rise. We're trying to step up now. We're taking it to another level after this one, and then
take it to another level.
And then we'll do a commercial break after that one. We'll play, and then we come back, and then we now talk about where we are today. Seun Kuti and the 𝐒𝐨𝐧𝐬𝐿 band with Damian Marley. And that collaboration.
We'll talk about that album as well. There's so much happening, and I'm sure he's going to give us all the exclusives.
Oh, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will be back. I'm sure they know. I'm sure they know now. It's very visible to the blind and audible to the deaf. 92.3 Inspiration FM, the Lunchtime Show. We still have Seun Kuti in the building.
Yes, of course.
Now we have played the song.
Yes.
Now you have to walk us through the making. In fact, everything from the first time you got the vision from the ancestors, as you always say, to put down this song, till the time when you decide to say, let producer, which producer are we using? You decided to. So the collaboration. Let's hear everything, and then Damian Marley.
Well, there's no producer in the sense that people say producer in mainstream, meaning somebody that makes the music and then the artist just comes to put his lyrics or his voice or something. You know, for me, I don't like produce a track. I compose a song.
Okay.
You know, so it means writing the parts, bass, guitars, drums,
instruments and everything too.
you know, you write the parts. Also, there's the little science to music, you know, because everything has to count even and fit into the what's it called? Not the blend,
Arrangement, basically.
no, you know, like when you a bit of it seeps into mainstream music. So when you hear rappers say things like 16 bars.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what 16 bars means is a complete sentence in music. So 16 bars makes a sentence. So that's why people do 16 bars, because that means you made one sentence in musical language. You know, so
paragraph.
no, a sentence.
Sentence.
Yeah, 8 bars is a phrase.
Okay.
You know, so you get your phrases right, your sentences right, to make sure that, you know, the music is, you know, that is what people hear that gives them that ties them to the sound. Because you don't know if you're not a musician, but that's the science of it. They give you that. That's why people have nice loops in their songs that people can relate to. So you write. But for me also, there's, you know, that's the gift is that you hear your music. You know, that's the talent. If you don't hear your music in your head before you compose or write or produce or whatever it is that you do to make the music, then I don't think you really have the gift. You know, you're just some robot that they are giving to people. Like many artists are robots. I won't even say they are artists. Many entertainers are robots.
Everybody's trying to make money today now. So
you know, because they don't do anything. They just it's like a factory thing. One person somewhere does the drum. One person somewhere does the violin. One person somewhere does the guitar. One person somewhere, they did like it's a factory setting, you know, put together. Somebody else writes verse 1, somebody else writes verse 2, somebody else writes the hook, and they bring it together like a factory product, like, you know, and then they sell it to the people as manufactured, you know, like really manufactured music. You know, so there are artists like that. I don't believe like that is artistry.
No, true.
That's like, you know, business, you know, entertainment business, you know, music, you know, and that's why if you look at many music videos and where they give credit on many songs, like the amount of people, like the amount of names they will write at the credit side of the songs, you'll be wondering, man, who is not working on this song? You know, so that's how deep the business goes, you know. And so for artists like me, it's kind of different, you know, because you are more involved in the creation of your music. And the inspiration of it is that you hear your music, you hear your sound, and then the hard work means to turn that sound into music, into a song.
So the timeline from that till turning,
there's no timeline.
It will take years.
It can take years. Actually, there was this time I wrote a song for a year and still scrapped it.
What were you?
I'm telling you.
Wait, is it?
So you wrote the song
Is a lot.
For a whole year, I was writing this song, like writing, rewriting, changing the parts. Like but after the end, I was like, after a point, I was like, this song will delay my life. I
don't know.
if this song not delay me,
I go delay this song. Wait till they happen.
why don't you give way?
And I just decided one day, like, okay, I finished it. So when I say I scrapped it, that's if I didn't finish. I finished it.
Yes.
Okay. I could impose the song. Like nobody will say they will not play it.
Yes,
you know. But at the end of it, after all that work, you know, that's the annoying part that I had to scrap it because after all that work, but I just thought like I'm going to finish because this thing is sounding amazing. It's going to be, you know, like when you have tunnel vision or something.
Yes.
I'll tell you, I'm not joking. 1 whole year I was working on this
song.
This song. You know.
Yeah.
And I, you know, and I finish, and it's just terrible. It's not as if it's not a good song. I mean, but it's just not what I thought it was when I was doing it.
When you're making
you
it.
finish it, because for me, when I finish something, like, so now what I do is this: I don't go too far before I apply this. And I think every young musician and producer, whatever, you know,
Yes.
whatever you make, at the moment you are doing it, take it in, but then stop, go and sleep. Go and sleep or chill or go somewhere, do something else, then come back and listen again. Before you just continue to the end. To be sure it's kind of cool.
Is there not a problem with that? Because now you are in an age and society where everybody wants you to put out something because we are living in this idea of, okay, we need to stay relevant by doing this certain things. Then how does that artist remain relevant when they have to go and sleep and come back to the song? Doesn't it like take time to do that?
But I mean, what does it mean to be relevant? You know, do you want to be relevant over like a short period of time that's probably very busy and very successful?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be successful, you know, as is, but for a long
period of time?
That's a fair question.
So, I mean,
this is the trade-off that I think many artists make, you know, and many that go mainstream are like, man, I'm done with this. Let me, you know, but then the attention, the time that you can claim is really short.
Yeah.
You know, the time you can claim is really short, and then most of the time for you to even be successful in this mainstream, you know, I'm not using it to knock mainstream artists. So it's just because it's like manufactured products. So that there's a formula. You know, so you have to be like young also, like in your 20s.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so you make all this money to your 30s. You know, but then you still have to live till you're like 70. You know, that's where a lot of artists that we hear, before that they made so much money. What happened to this guy? He used to be so like, it's because life is long.
But then they leave for the short time.
You know, and I mean, also our standard of living, they deceive us that we need all these things before. You know, that people love you because of your innate talent. You know, I feel you need all these
external stuff
before people can before you can look people in the eye, you know, and all that. So all that game, the capitalist game on young Africans, we can discuss a whole book on that.
Yes.
You know, so that's kind of like lures a lot of artists out of their original trajectory or path.
Okay. It's good that we spoke about this because, you know, for a lot of people who are probably listening right now, there are a couple of questions that will be, you know, bothering them, and it will stem from the fact that what is popular is what is in your face. Do you understand? What everybody seems to manufacture, like you said, that's what is in your face. But sometimes for you to
because
be different,
that's the business, right? That's the business, and our music business, like our existence in this part of the world, is solely based on the investment criteria of the investors.
I was going to ask you,
them that.
how do you feel about the music business currently? The fact that, you know, right now it's more or less like the business is dictated by accountants and lawyers instead of people who really love the music or love the talent.
Not only accountants and lawyers, and certain gatekeepers who also
and
love
the
the
rest
power
that comes with
that
it.
comes with it.
we just always find a way to come back to the issue of gatekeepers in the industry. We just find a way
No,
to
but
come
it's
there.
not only in music. I mean, in sports, in
Everywhere.
government, in banking, in anything you choose to do, definitely. But the problem I have with these so-called gatekeepers of the African world, and not when I say African world, I don't even mean Nigeria or Africa, the continent alone. I mean our world, everywhere we are, as African Americans, African Brits, African, you know, is that, you know, they are kind of, for them, the gatekeeping thing is a way to keep. It's not a way to develop
The system.
to turn our business into an industry.
Yeah.
You know, it's a way for them to extract as much influence and favors.
Okay.
You know, from true talented people who are trying to shine their light to the world.
Yeah.
Very true.
So yeah, I think that's an issue for me.
Let's talk about the project because I'm sure there are a lot of people right now. We've given them a little bit, a little some. All right, now let's look at the body of work, the project itself. This song, Damian Marley first. Let's look at it. Who reached out to who?
Actually, my
I know
manager,
that you guys will probably be friends.
I've met him once now. I'll not farms him. I'll not farms him until we are friends.
Okay.
But if I see him and he sees me, I mean, we'll definitely say, hey, what's up, and we'll chill. And
Yes, you guys
because that
recognize each
happened
other.
when we met each other for the first time, you know, and we met like backstage. And obviously, like me, I like to arrive really early on shows when I really have big shows, and he arrived early too. So I think we had that in common. So we were chilling even before our staff were there. Were there already. But they started setting up, just talking, and the show was sponsored by Puma.
Yeah.
I remember back. This was 2009 or something.
That's when you met him.
Yeah, 2009 or 2010. Long time.
Long time ago.
And we chilled. You know how musicians chill.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's it, and we never spoke again. But then on this, I mean, I sent him the songs.
Yes.
Because my manager, he's actually, so how did it happen? My manager was like, man, do you want us to have Damian on the album? I'm like, yeah, do you have his contact? They're like, yeah, man, his manager is my friend. Like, I'm going to write him.
Okay.
Let's see what they say. You know, and we sent the email and they replied in less than like immediately, like, boom, yeah, let's do this, send the song.
Something we need to learn right here in the country. I mean, managers though.
Yeah, I mean, our managers are cool, yeah. So there was like that, they just did the link up, you know, and he was very glad to do the work. I was very glad to have him do the work.
And that was it.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of post-production and here we are. I mean, also for me, just as I said before, like for me, it was also the historical benefit of what we are doing. As the first time in Kuti and Marley
He's doing
coming
something.
together, and you know, we're doing something together. It had to be worth it for the world also. You know, my next project, which this single is on,
Yes.
you know, I think is my most, you know, how do I put it?
Anticipated project.
Yes, it's because I've not done a project in 6 years.
Yeah.
And
So
it's not
everybody's counting down.
It's not even anticipated by fans.
Yes.
People working for me are like, man, do you want us to lose our jobs?
You need to put out this project.
Yeah, but also it wasn't my fault. I wasn't holding on to the project. It wasn't like there was no time to record.
Okay.
I just didn't have it. There was COVID. We were already with the albums like 2021, 22. You know, so I mean, the strength of the songs also for me is nice because I've written them and I've been playing them. I've not recorded them and now I have to record them and I'm still playing them and they're still like really exciting to
Yes.
I think
So
that's
for me,
that's
that was
the
like
beauty.
a good sign that it was a good project we had in our hands.
So the project's coming out the 4th of October.
Yeah,
It's titled Heavier Yet.
yeah. But Heavier Yet is half the title. So if you look, there's a parenthesis, the bracket like
Yes.
that. It says Heavier Yet lays the crownless head.
I didn't want to mention that part.
We want to quickly talk about the way you name your songs.
My album.
And your
albums.
albums, actually.
Waiting, what's going on? Are you a hidden writer or something, or are you a?
I'm a lyricist now.
Yes, now.
I'm not a musician.
Do you write some plays and poetry because the way you compose those words?
I think as soon as I finish my album, I have the title of the next album in my head. And I start to kind of work around
That
creating
title.
that album to match this. So I want every song to be part of the bigger message.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
is the album title. You know, I hardly, apart from my first album, which is Many Things.
Yeah.
And I had the title track Many Things.
Yes.
I think that's the only album I named like that. So from the second one, my second album was called From Africa with Fury.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rise.
Yes.
That's the part people
Yeah.
don't say, but you know, and Rise was the single, but the title was From Africa with Fury. Rise. You know, I did that in 2011, 2012 and 13. Arab Spring, the whole of Africa, occupy here, occupy there. You know,
Which you participated in.
yeah. The next album after that for me was because my second album, and also I was believing that my generation also, after that whole occupy, we became politicized in a way. Our eyes to became open to certain things.
Yeah.
You know, and many people that were not interested before started becoming. This was the beginning of this our political awakening that is still going on since 2012. You know, we have not really got into, you know, yet Uhuru, because young people have not organized independently.
That's very
Yes.
true.
To create platforms for their own representation.
That's very true.
Take their destiny. And not just all young people, I mean working people, the professionals of Nigeria. You know, we still rely on the same people failing us. You know, anyway, so I named the album A Long Way to the Beginning. You know, because for me it was reflected, and for my career as well, because my second album was my real like banger album that put me on, at least to me. You know, my first album was critically acclaimed, it was good, it was successful, but I had Brian Eno produce my second album. You know, and you know, maybe people don't know, but Brian Eno, you know, come on, he's like the god of rock music. You know,
When you put a stamp on it.
we all call him God. You know, in the studio, 10-time Grammy Award winner.
That's it.
You know, like
What else?
doesn't get any bigger than that.
I mean,
What else?
So I mean, he was Coldplay. He was the first
Responsible.
producer, founder, Coldplay.
Yes.
U2, Roxy Music,
The names are endless.
Rage Against the Machine, endless. Brian Eno, you know, he's like a huge legend. And
yeah.
he invited me. So this is how it happens for me. And I'm telling you, if I tell you all these stories are the same. Because all my projects are also ordained by the ancestors. You know, as I always say, you know, the gift is the gift, and if you use it rightly, you know, the ancestors are always there. You know, so I'm sitting down in my house in Lagos. I get a call. Brian Eno wants you to come and do a show in the Sydney Opera House in Australia. I mean, how does Brian Eno even know who I am?
In the first place.
If you remember, I just did my first album here.
Yes.
You know, I wasn't come and play all the way in Australia for that matter. Sydney Opera House. Ooh, okay, well, great venue. Okay, let's go. So I went there and I met him. And as soon as I met him, I told him, you know, you are going to produce my next album. You know, I said, okay, when I get back to London, I'm sure he thought I was joking. You know, he thought he was going to just wiggle his way out of it. You know, I tracked him throughout the 5 days. We were in that place like his personal assistant.
Oh dear Lord.
You know, by the time we got to London, everything was set. You know, I mean, everybody in the team was like, when I told my record label, like, okay, who's producing the album, like a brand, you know, the first thing is, who is going to pay?
Which was also the first question in my head. Because
Like,
that kind of project now.
Who is going to pay? I'm like, man,
This one is already sorted. I mean, this is me bringing, you know, that A+ to this.
You know, but they were even worried about the wrong thing, because Brian wasn't looking to be paid.
Yeah.
You know, so for him it was a project of, you know, love. You know, so that was how and Brian is so respected. You know, and he did a few interviews, like just putting my project in.
You know.
Everybody were like, if I see he's there, everybody were like, oh. You know, I've been endorsed by the God. So that was the album, you know. So for me, after that album, for my career as well, it just like looked like it was just like really starting.
Yeah,
so
at that
like
time.
A long way to the beginning. Also, it was like relating to me. You know, so that was my third album. Then my fourth album, Black Times. No, I did my third album with Robert Glasper.
Okay.
Black Radio. He produced my third album. A Long Way to the Beginning.
We're totally running out of time.
We did it in Belgium. Yeah. And then the fourth album, Black Times, which featured Carlos Santana. Another great story. Carlos Santana played the guitars in the title track, Black Times.
Yes.
My fourth record. And how did I get that to happen? Also for free.
That's what I mean. That's all. I think we're going to have to bring Seun Kuti another day.
You know,
there's a lot more to talk about. I mean, just
so when he released his book, when he released his autobiography, you know,
yeah,
being a huge fan,
Yeah.
my friends and I, you know, were like, we have to get this book. We have to get this book. So my friend in LA gets us a copy. You know, in San Diego, he gets me, and I'm in LA, but I'm driving to San Diego.
Yeah.
I'm on tour. You know, this is 2016, 2017. I can't remember. I think 2016. You know, I'm on tour in the States, but I'm on the tour bus. We're going to San Diego I just played LA. You know, so I'm like, I'll pick up my copy. You know, have you started reading yours? He's like, yeah. I said, let me know how it goes. So he's reading the book. I'm sorry, this is how I know how to tell stories. I know how to rush my story. You know, so I'm in the bus and then he just calls me like, Seun, I sent you a message. I said, check your phone, check your WhatsApp. You know, so I go my WhatsApp and I check my WhatsApp. And lo and behold, the picture he sends me is a page in the book, Carlos Santana's book, where Carlos Santana is talking about me.
Oh, wow. Now that's huge.
You know?
That's huge.
And I'm like, in which world is Carlos Santana talking about me? So you know me.
I think it's a lot of connection though.
He's talking about me. He's quoting lyrics from my song. Like, this is the African music he's like really digging right now. You know, like what he's talking. I'm like, everybody hold everything. Carlos Santana knows me. We have to go and know him. Stop everything. Anyway, we find him through his manager. We go to Las Vegas to his house, hook up, and he's like, okay, you know what? After we are done, you know, man, like,
mission fulfilled.
tell my manager to get the thing. Let's get the bill. Let's see how we're going to pay him. Whatever. You know, he just looks at me and says, no, Seun. This is a gift from me to you. Like,
what are we saying? Job done and dusted.
You know, so, and this one I have Lenny Kravitz on it as the executive producer as well. You know, long story short, I went to follow Lenny Kravitz on Instagram. I went to Instagram page and I saw that he was already following me. I was like, okay.
You didn't think that he had already dropped a message in your DM?
No, there was no. Now I went to as soon as I saw he was following me, I went straight to the DM. You know, to be like, you know, what's up, friend? What's up, friend, homeboy, my best, like, what's going on?
And then you got another blessing.
I mean, for me, generally, I just tell people like, you know, trust me, if you're doing it right,
yes,
regardless of what you think, they see you. You know.
All right, so Seun, we gotta go now because the guy.
Me too. I got. Thank you very much.
Streaming the song Day, Seun Kuti.
Where can they find him on social media?
Yeah.
Me, I'm Big Bird Kuti on Instagram. Twitter is @Seun Kuti. Sorry, Elon Musk, you don't have enough money to make us call it X. It's Twitter for life. It's Twitter @Seun Kuti and Facebook. I have Facebook as well. 𝐒𝐭𝐴𝐍𝐿𝐴𝐿𝐴. I'm still on Facebook. I have so many thousands of followers there. About 700,000. What do you want me to do? Just abandon them? Just abandon them in the wilderness? I can't do that. Me can't.
You can't. We gotta go. Alright, the news at exactly 4 o'clock. Please do stay right here with us on your #1 family radio.
Did you enjoy this video? Hit the subscribe button for more. Leave a comment and like. Thank you.